So the title of this video may make you think that photography is the same or not the same, but we've all come to this conclusion that it's just different. Now, what am I getting at here? Some of the photography advertisings that I used to do weren't video based, weren't content based. I've actually had a structure in that was getting me business as well as referrals to making money in photography that just doesn't work at this particular point. Showing my photos at this particular point doesn't actually work to get me more business. Now, I know it's been like this for the last couple of years, but as a photographer converting over to video, I never really got acclimated until recently. Now, I should have seen these signs when I was first, home during COVID, not shooting as much, and just understanding that everything is shifting. But at that particular point, I didn't really make a change. And my business suffered. Now, one of the regrets are, what do I mean by the business not being successful? When it comes down to it, I've done a lot of business in the photography game, but scaling has always been an issue because I had a full-time job. Now, let's fast forward from the pandemic, 2020, to November of 2022. So November of 2022 is when I actually get laid off from my day job. Now, I was in SaaS, or software as a service, and the market in general wasn't doing that great. A lot of it was just tanking at that particular point. Now, I'm not saying the company I worked for tanked. I'm saying that they have instances where, there's highs and then there's lows. And I just happened to be part of the low situation where they had to let people go. Now, this is where the biggest regret comes in when it comes to not following what social is doing and bringing out the best in my content and stepping away a little bit from doing just pictures and focusing on video as well. But the trick is, I had to focus on both. So this is basically just a long-winded answer saying I should have focused on video when it came to the pandemic hitting, and not just solely focusing on photo, because I feel like my business would have actually taken off, and that layoff wouldn't have been such a hard hit. So moving forward, as a creator, as a photographer, as a videographer now, as a content creator for small businesses, what do? I feel like the trick is that no one really gives a shit about the final result, but it's more about how you got that final result. I mean, what the hell does that even mean? People give a shit about the final result of an image, and that's why people buy those images. Yes, that's correct. But when I post things such as pictures or videos or anything of that sort, they don't perform well. But when I show the process of how I created an image or how I created a video, they perform extremely well. But that doesn't make any fucking sense. So I'm here to tell you guys that this is not a cheat sheet on how to become a better photographer or be noticed. All I'm saying is you have to switch it up. Just posting a picture for me is not really working anymore. I'm not saying I'm the best photographer. I'm not saying I'm the worst one. I'm saying I used to get a lot of attention for my pictures, and now it's as simple as not getting that attention anymore. So what do? You switch things up. The definition of insanity, remember guys, is doing the same shit and expecting different results. A year ago, I switched it up. The switch up. Produce more content for people to learn what they can do if they are a photographer or videographer. That's it. People just want to learn the shit. In reality, they care about the photos you take, but they care more about how you got that damn photo. Now, some of you may think like, yeah, dude, of course, people give a shit about the process. But to be honest, I was never the one to worry about the process because I just figured it out myself. I always just figured it out. It wasn't about asking questions for me. It was about the way I learned was go out there and just do it. Figure out yourself, figure out camera settings, figure out what lighting works. Just figure it out. So how in the hell do you just figure it out? Well, there's a few things I did when I first went full-time back in November 2022. The number one thing for awareness was obviously my website. My website was shit prior to 2022. I always used Squarespace, but now I actually had to dial in and use its functionality, its features. This video is not sponsored. I don't have a following to sponsor a video like this, but I can tell you that Squarespace has helped out a lot with its features and basic necessities for SEO and being able to get found. Again, I'm only telling you guys this because this is what I experienced. The next thing I did is I doubled down on my content creation. Shit, I might have actually tripled down. I wasn't posting just photos anymore. I was posting reels. I was going heavy on reels. So to the point where I was probably posting them 3 times a day for at least 3 months straight. The next thing I did was actually very important as well. Now, I'm not prioritizing one over the other. I'm just telling you guys what I had to do in order to make more money, so that way I can do this full time. Having the presence in the Facebook communities has helped me tremendously. So many people tag me in the local posts, tag me in just New Jersey posts in general as a photographer and videographer can actually be a savior in some people's businesses. Like, I harp on this big time. A lot of people say that Facebook is not it because of the type of people that are on there, or and when I mean type, I mean, you know, the age group. There are a lot of people out there that just knock it, but to be honest, I haven't even ran Facebook ads yet, and I'm getting a pretty significant amount of business just from Facebook or Meta, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm not saying I know everything. All I'm saying is I know what I know, and so far these things have helped out a lot. So these one-off jobs weren't really sustaining. It's too inconsistent. I kept on saying this to my wife, like, it's too inconsistent as a business if I just do these one-off jobs. Don't get me wrong, weddings are good, but to be honest, if someone pays you up front and the wedding is not until 6 months or a year from now, I feel like I'm doing that job for free. Now, that may sound stupid, but that's just the reality of things. So my main thing now is focusing on monthly retainer services with small business specifically. And honestly, I think I found my niche. So monthly retainers has helped in a way that I can actually tell how much I'm making month to month and not being surprised on, okay, and be like, okay, babe, we gotta relax on shopping here this month or here this month. This has helped out tremendously. I mean, realistically, monthly retainers make sense for everybody. I can go in now and go in on their photography as well as their video. Most of the time they actually ask me if I'm interested in doing their social content and managing it. So there really is no downside to any of this. The only downside is if you don't know shit about social media, which I didn't at the time, but now I'm getting pretty well versed in understanding the marketing of social media. Now, all this to say that if you have a feeling in your gut saying you may need to do something in order to get where you need to be, I suggest you guys follow it. Now, I'm not saying my journey has sucked. I'm saying I think my journey would have been a little bit more advanced from where I am now if I started doing the videos and the reels back in the pandemic. And when I mean photography has changed, unfortunately, but fortunately, it has changed. You can't just take a simple picture anymore and expect it to blow up. There has to be reason why people are watching your shit. And I'm not saying I have any reason why people should watch my shit. All I'm saying is that people started watching my shit when I started making a change and not just producing photography images. Yes, there are many people out on YouTube that have stated what I stated and have done what I've done and really achieved from it, but I'm not those people. It took me a while to understand that people don't give a shit about the actual image, they care more about the process. Now, if there's one thing I can tell you is that I've pretty much come a long way when it comes to content creating and understanding what the needs are. It's not just about making money. I'm more interested about the long run. So what does the long run have in store for me?